Hello, 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 people. How are you today? Hello, guys.
Hello, teacher.
Hello, how are you? How's everything?
Good, teacher. Almost Friday.
Yay, it's almost Friday. I'm looking forward to, rest over
But you were on
Uh,
Saturday, so.
yes, I work on Saturdays. That's right. Yes. And I have exams that I need to grade, and I have parents' meeting. So I'm going to have a long Saturday, but hopefully I get to rest on Sunday. Hopefully. I mean, hopefully. But yes, I mean, we have a holiday like in June, like two, so that's good. I'm looking forward for it. My people, so we are going to have a what our for our 11th class today. Today is finally June the 1st. May is finally over, like finally. It was such a long month. So today we're having our 11th class. Remember that we are finishing the cycle on Tuesday, okay? On Tuesday next week, which means, guys, that we are going to have Wednesday and Thursday off next week, and we're going to start the next cycle on Friday next week. Okay, so this is for you to keep in mind. And remember that for next week we have Moodle, we have the project. So don't forget to work over the weekend on those activities, especially on Moodle. Remember, 2 activities per unit. In this cycle, we only have 3 units. So, I mean, Moodle is going to be shorter for you. So 2 activities per unit. So that means that at least you need to work on 6 activities at least. If you want to work on more activities, that's perfect. I mean, that's up to you, but at least on 2 of the activities per unit. On Monday, you are sending me the 3rd project progress. I'm going to give you time for you to plan everything. I mean, in case you guys need time to work on the grips. We need to check because we have, for example, Stephanie left. So we need to see how many people are there in each of the groups. And that's it. I mean, we need to double check that, because now we're only 18, and when we started B2, I think we were 20. I think I'm not sure, but I think we were 20 or 21. And then now we're 18, so we need to see if that affects any of the groups. I mean, we need to see that, okay? So far, let's start with today's session. We are going to start with a warming up activity about the scripted adjectives, that is guess the picture. Then we are going to work on extreme fashion and beauty trends. This is the activity that we were working on yesterday. Then we are going to work on the scripted adjectives and extreme fashion vocabulary. We're going to also work on this activity, that is adding emphasis with auxiliaries and inversion. And that's it. Okay, that's going to be our session for today. So let's get it started. I am going to explain the activity that we're going to be working on. Just give me 1 second. I'll share my screen here. Okay. So here on the Google Drive folders, I have a PDF. And then in the PDF, the activity is called descriptive adjectives. So the idea is to guess the picture. we have here adjectives. As I said, descriptive adjectives like casual, childish, chic, classic, colorful, contemporary, conventional, cute, frumpy, fun, garish, glamorous, messy, minimal, outdated, outrageous, over the top, provocative, scruffy, sleek, sophisticated, stark, sweet, tacky, twee, ultramodern, unconventional, vintage, and vulgar. So, and here we have pictures, okay? So I have the instructions here in case you guys need to double check in case you forget something. So I have the instructions here. So the idea of this activity is to review the activities that are on page 66 on your student's book. And we're going to take a look at this from the second part, okay? From the third part, sorry. So you are going to get in groups, and you are going to take turns to choose one of the pictures and describe it with the help of the adjectives in the box. So for example, I am going to choose any of this, but I'm not going to tell you which picture I chose. I am just going to give you, I'm going to list adjectives, and I'm going to say, okay, so my image is vintage. My image is classic. My image is glamorous. my image is outdated. Okay, so the rest of you are going to try to guess the picture one by one. So for example, if in my group I have Angelica, Andrea, Mayra, and Sarai, let's say that it's the girls walking together. And then let's say Angelica says, oh, picture B. And then Andrea says, oh, I think it's picture C. Mayra Plata says, I think it's picture A. And then Sarai says, I think it's picture D. So one by one, you tell me which picture you think I'm talking about. And then I say, okay, the picture I was talking about was picture A. So Mayra, you got that square. So Mayra, you need to keep track of the answer. So nobody can choose this one. Nobody else can use this picture because it's already Mayra's picture. Okay, it's like she's gonna own the picture. And then at the end, the person that gets more pictures is gonna be the winner of the game. Okay, so then, okay, I finished my turn, then another person, let's say Angelica starts describing the picture. Angelica says, okay, so my picture is colorful, we don't have colors, right? We cannot see colors. My picture is glamorous, is unconventional, it's contemporary. And then we say, oh, I think, and then I say, I think you were talking about picture D. And Mayra says, I think you're talking about picture E. And then one by one starts giving or your opinion about the picture that we think Angelica is talking about. Okay, so each person of the group is going to choose one of the pictures, and then it's going to try to describe it. Okay, if one person guesses the picture, it's going to get this, or the picture, the image is going to be like the owner. And at the end, you need to keep track and you need to count how many pictures did everyone get. Okay, is the activity clear?
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Yes, teacher, it is clear.
Okay, very, very, very good. So I am now, where is it? It's in the Google Drive folder. I'm going to send the link again, and you are going to access class number 11 under class 11 here. You're going to find the activity. Okay, guess the picture. So that's it. We don't have so many pictures. So I mean, you can choose only, I think, let's see how many pictures we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I think I think only like one round or maximum 2. Okay, So, is it clear? Is activity clear? Again? Well, Julie just entered the session, so I'm going to explain. Hello, Julie, can you hear us?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, very good. So I'm going to explain the activity because you just arrived to the session. So, and I'm going to send you to the breakout rooms. So I want you to know what we're talking about or the activity. This is a warming up. The idea is to review the adjectives that we studied yesterday. So I'm going to send you to the breakout rooms, and then we're gonna have only like 3, maximum 4 people per room, so that you have more than, you have like at least twice pictures that you can choose from. So here you can see some pictures, right? You're going to think about one, but you're not going to tell your classmates which picture you were talking about or which picture you chose. So let's say that you chose picture G, but of course you cannot, or you should not tell anyone that you chose picture G. And then you start describing the picture. You say, okay, my picture is classic, unconventional, let's say outdated, something like that. Okay, so you can use any of these adjectives that you think describes the picture that you are talking about. And then you are going to ask people in your group, like, okay, which picture do you think I'm talking about? So you say, for example, in your group, you're working with Freddy, Christian, Andrea, and Harold. Let's say that they're your classmates. So you say, okay, Freddy, what do you think, or which picture do you think I'm talking about? So Freddy is going to say, hold on. Freddy is going to say, oh, I think you are talking about picture C. Christian, which picture do you think I'm talking about? Christian says, oh, I think you're talking about picture E. Andrea Baca, which picture you think I'm talking about? Andrea says, oh, I think you're talking about picture D. And then Harold says, I think you're talking about picture H. So at the end, you have to say which picture you were talking about. So you say, well, I was actually talking about picture D. So Andrea, very good. You got the picture. So Andrea now is the owner of this picture. No one else can use it. Okay, so this is Andrea's picture. So you need to keep track of the pictures that everyone gets. And then it's Freddy's turn. It's going to be Freddy's turn. So Freddy thinks,
Teacher, I have a question.
yeah, what's your question?
If 2 persons say the same letter.
Well, the first one, that's a good question.
But it's not difficult because the first one is like, maybe.
I wanted to say it first. It's not fair.
No.
Well. Okay, that's a great question. What should we do in that case? Well, let's say that the first person that says the letter, yeah, let's do it like that. The first person that says the letter.
But maybe if I don't end to say the adjective, and the people say
they have to wait. They have to wait until you.
Okay.
Yes.
And then when we end, okay. Yes.
Yes. So yes, the first person that's, you need to finish. Okay, guys, the person that is talking or describing the picture needs to finish until that person says, okay, I'm done. Now, which picture do you think I'm talking about? And then you say, oh, picture. The first person that says the letter, it's going to get the picture. It's going to be the new owner of the picture. Okay, is it clear, guys?
Yes, teacher. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay, excellent. So now I am going to send you to the breakout rooms. But before I send you to the breakout rooms, I'm going to do the roll call. Okay, so I want to see who is in the session and who's missing. So today is June the June the 1st. Yes, finally, finally. Acevedo Cuevas Saray.
Present, teacher.
Great. Albarracín Caballero Cristian.
I'm here, teacher.
Awesome. Ayala Viloria Joeli. Joeli, you usually write on the chat. Is Joeli here? Hello, Joeli. Well, apparently she is here, but I don't know if she can hear me. Bacayain Andrea.
Present, teacher.
Very good. Hello?
I was at the classes.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay, Joely. Very good. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Good. Carrera Bonilla, John Hammer. John. Hello, hello, hello. Is John in the session? Okay, I'll call you later. Cordero Castellanos, Brian.
Hello, teacher.
Hello. Fonseca Garcia, Freddy. My dear Freddy.
I'm here.
Awesome.
Hi.
Very good. Liscano Ariza, Judy. Hello, Judy.
Teacher, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you. Lozada Díaz, Diana.
Present, teacher.
Awesome. Muñoz Salazar, Andrea.
Present, teacher.
Great. Pérez Ardila, Natalie. Is Natalie with us? Let me see. Not yet. Nope, not yet. Okay. Pinzón Linares, Mayra Juliet.
Present, teacher.
Great. Plata Vargas, Mayra.
Present, teacher.
Awesome. Rodríguez Llorente, Harold.
Hi, teacher.
Hello. Sandoval Miranda, Angélica Stephanie.
Hi, teacher. I'm here.
Good. Sierra Jaimes, Daniela.
Hi, teacher.
Hello. Velasco Uribe, Ana María.
Hi, teacher. I'm here.
Good. Vera Peña, Jennifer.
Here, teacher.
Great. Excellent. Okay, people. So John Carrero, hello. Can you hear us? Can you hear me? Okay. So, okay, guys. So I'm going to send you to the breakout rooms. And remember that you find the activity on the Google Drive folder, okay? Okay, Jennifer. Yes, it's okay. I understand. No worries. Okay. So I'm going to send you to the breakout rooms. Let me see. Cristian, Jennifer, Judy, John, Ana María, Diana Lozada, Sarai. Very good. Andrea Vaca, Daniela, Harold, Mayra. Okay, Andrea, Harold, Mayra, Angélica, Brian, Daniela, Joely, Mayra, Andrea Muñoz, Fred. Okay, guys, please join the sessions.
Entonces se mete. Hi, teacher.
Hello, guys. So what's going on?
Teacher, can you please allow us to share the screen?
Oh my God. I totally forgot about it. Like every single group must be suffering from the same thing. Okay, now you
Yes, teacher.
can. Now you can. Oh my goodness, I feel like the worst. I always forget about these things. I mean, I do it every
Don't
single
worry.
day, but I always forget. Okay, now you can. Now you can.
Thank you, teacher.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Okay, we are ready now.
Okay, can any of you share a screen?
Mayra, are you there? Oh,
Mayra.
tranqui. Teacher, I can share because I'm connected with my datos.
Okay.
I've been having problem with my internet those days and
Si les comparto una
it's been
sola cosa,
difficult
solo
to
pueden ver
connect
una
it.
sola cosa.
Okay.
Ya.
Yes.
Ay, no, ¿qué están viendo ahí? ¿Un correo? Ya, yo tenía esto abierto acá. Listo, empecemos. ¿Sí pueden ver la pantalla?
Yes.
Okay. I am going to talk about the
Guys, you can share your screen. I mean, I for some reason I forgot to allow you to share your screen, but now you can.
thanks teacher.
Sorry, Jennifer, could you repeat again, please?
I'm going to talk about picture D.
Yes, but you,
Adobe. Okay.
we don't have to say what pictures we
También
choose.
de ustedes ya es
Okay.
más,
Only
ya
Just you have to talk about of your picture, and we have to guess what picture are you talk about.
according to the adjectives.
yes, sorry. Mm, I haven't because at the beginning I haven't listened correct properly. So that's why.
It's okay,
That
Jennifer.
okay. But so you can uh then do it start then.
Hi guys, you can now share your screen. I totally forgot to, allow you to share your screen, but now you can.
Thank you.
Thank you,
We
teacher.
will share the images in
Yeah,
the chat.
you can now. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I do this every single day. I always allow you to share your screen, but I forgot today for some
It's
reason.
okay.
Sorry.
Don't worry, teacher.
Thank you.
Okay. And continue, Sarai.
Yeah. No, it's all.
So, for you, what is the of all picture? What is cast?
My picture is
Hi guys,
fine.
sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt.
Teacher, sorry.
Hello, you can now share your screen. I'm sorry, but I forgot to allow you to share your screen before I send you to the breakout rooms.
Okay.
Now you can. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Now you have the access.
Okay, teacher, thanks.
Didn't you receive the message that I sent?
Yes, we
Yes,
got
teacher.
it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
So
Hi guys, did you finish?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Okay, awesome. Who was the winner from each of the teams? Do we have a winner?
Oh, teacher.
All of you were winners?
Yes,
Teacher, in my group,
in my group
we
too.
are in a tie.
Oh, it was tie. It was a
Have to
tie.
take a run off.
Okay. Oh, you could have, oh no, but it's not possible. Like rock, scissors, papers, but it's not possible. I mean, it is possible, but I don't know how easy it is to play rock, scissors, papers. That's what I do with my students when it's a tie and there are like points, extra points, and they don't want to risk them. So they're like, okay, so let's play rock, scissors, papers, and then we get a winner from it. Okay, how was it? Was it easy to find the pictures?
Teacher, it was easy, but there are several words that we don't even know.
Okay,
Uh,
but I mean, we
and we
started.
have to, sorry,
No, go ahead.
and we have to practice then more.
Yeah, we're going to today. We're going to practice these words today, and tomorrow as well. So my people, yeah, today we're going to be working on vocabulary related to this topic, related to descriptive adjectives and extreme fashion vocabulary. So last night, people, we were working on a very interesting activity in which you had to describe, or first of all, you had to answer questions. Okay, you had to answer some questions based on the video. I was checking your progress and all of you overall did a great job. That task was not problematic at all for any of the groups, but we didn't have enough time to share the task, in which you had to talk about a beauty trends that, and then the disadvantages of it, or why it is, or it was dangerous. So did all the groups, did you all finish that second activity? So we can start sharing that to the rest of the class.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, okay.
Group 2, yes.
Yes.
Group 2 is ready. Okay, so I am going
Group
to
3.
Group 3 is ready as well.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, very good. And then what about grade number 1? Are you guys ready? Group 1, in group number 1 we have Freddy, Diana, Andrea, Mayra.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
you guys are also
Yes,
ready.
teacher, is
Okay,
ready.
excellent. So, okay, let's start with group number 1. And then group number 2, you have to be ready, as well as group number 3. Okay, so go ahead, group number 1, you guys can share your screen and you can start with the presentation, with a short presentation about the beauty trend. So go ahead.
Give me a second, teacher, please.
Yeah, sure, not a problem.
Only the second part, teacher? Or,
No, just the second part,
okay. Mayra.
Yo. Okay, so one trend that people teacher all the script or only the part?
Only the second part. Only the second part.
Okay, so we discussed with the group, with the team actually, about the sunbeds. I don't know if you know something about it. And
What is
we
it? What is it? Sunbed? Oh,
Sunbed.
okay. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, for tan your
Yeah,
skin.
tanning, yes.
Yeah, okay. So one trend that people used to follow.
Teacher, group 2 have the same.
No,
That's
oh
not fair. We
my
were the first
goodness.
ones. We choose it first.
Well, they're
I
gonna
told you guys that we had to do something different.
That's ours.
I
Okay.
was trying to say that we want to speak about the keratin treatment. I know what.
Okay.
So now I'm going to continue.
Okay, go ahead. It's okay. It's okay. You can talk about the same. I'm not gonna get mad. Okay, go ahead, girl. Number one.
Okay, one trend that people used to follow and still do is the excessive use of sunbeds to achieve a darker skin tone. The negative part of this trend is increased risk of skin damage and the development of skin cancer. Also, excessive exposure to these rays can lead to development of wrinkles, fine lines, age spots, and leathery texture. The radiation emitted by sunbeds can also harm the eyes and can use uneven tanning and patches of discoloration on the skin, like Michael Jackson, for example.
Yeah, just to give an example.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, this is something that used to be very popular in the past. I don't think that it's
In the
that
90s.
Yeah, I don't think it's not that common nowadays.
But some
It
people
is, but
still
it's
use
different
it.
now. It's
Yeah.
actually common now.
I mean, yeah, I think people were or not. I mean, people use different products now, but not the sunbeds. I mean, they still exist, but they're not as common as they used to be in the past. So yeah, and I'm super like I don't like them at all. We had a lot, you had a lot, but then you came up with the same idea. I mean, what are the odds, guys? What are
That's
the
weird.
odds? Yeah, what were the odds that it was going to happen? But see, there's so many different options and you got the same one, but it's okay. It's okay. So very good. Thank you very much, group number one, for that beauty trend. Let's go with the second group. Okay, group number two, we're waiting for you.
Teacher, give me a moment, please.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
in the cell phone. So
Oh, is there like anybody from group number two, maybe Sarai, Daniela, Christian?
Give me a second because
Yeah,
I'm running another thing in the
yeah,
computer, so it's a little bit slow.
yeah. No, I understand. I know that Harold is using his phone tonight, so I'm not gonna ask Harold to do so. Maybe like a person that is working on a computer and it's easier for the person. Okay, Christian, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, so we decided to talk about tanning too. While many people say tan with a healthy and attractive appearance, there are significant negative impacts associated with this trend. The excessive sun exposure to achieve a bronze or use tanning beds, which are usually used by people to have a darker color on their skin, is done through UVB and UVA rays, which can cause premature aging, increased risks of skin cancer, eye damage, and burns. According to the National Cancer Institute, this practice will result in 1 in 8 mortality rate among those who participate in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Teacher, and I think that is very common, actually.
Is it? Is it
But
still common?
not like some beds, like tiny beds. I know all of centers that say like centers de bronceado, I don't know. And I know a lot of
you know many of them, or a lot of them. Yeah. I mean, okay, maybe I'm not, or I haven't, in my case, I mean, I haven't heard of them lately or in the past couple of years. But I'm sure, I mean, there's still a lot of people who do this, and that wants to, or a person that, or people that want to look tanner, because maybe, I mean, this is very common, especially during the seasons. So when it's summer in other countries, girls, especially girls, I mean, I'm not saying that boys don't want to do the same, but especially girls, they're obsessed with tanning. They're obsessed, like literally obsessed, and they buy different products, and then they lie on the sand like for hours until they get like burned or something. I mean, I don't like that. I don't like that. But you know, it's a trend that people like to follow, and it's still like a trend. What's going on in the chat? Like, you guys are fighting.
Freddy's saying that they did a
Teacher
third.
Fred saying that we are stole the idea.
Honestly,
Fred,
I want to talk about
Teacher,
every kind of answer, and everyone say no, so they choose standing.
yesterday you
It
entered
was
to
an
the
idea.
group.
We can
No,
read the
teacher.
idea first.
Teacher, I
Yesterday,
have to be
Aside.
honest. Freddy
teacher, yesterday
please
you
went to
entered
our
to the
file
group.
and they stole the idea. I saw that.
Yeah, teacher,
And
you
you
know
cannot see
that
that
group two finished
Everybody's
first.
speaking and I don't understand.
I'm like trying to listen to Harold, Christian, Freddy. You know, everyone is talking, and I'm
At the
trying
same time. That is not
let me
possible.
respond.
Okay. Yes, please. So I
This
think
one
it's
is more complete. You don't have this. This is the difference.
Teacher,
oh
Freddy went to
We
wow.
our
investigate
file
more.
and they stole our idea.
Yeah, this is different.
Okay.
More complete.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much, guys. So as a conclusion, just to stop the arguments here, you have to, put on sunscreen every day. Yes, every day. It's important for your skin and to have a healthy skin. So it doesn't matter if you don't go out, if you don't leave your house, it's still you need to put on sunscreen, because that is going to help your skin, or to protect your skin. So it's very important. Okay, my people, and let's go with the last group. Hopefully they have a different idea. That's I hope so. So let's go with the third group. Go ahead, guys. Group number 3.
Teacher, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
So we don't have the same idea.
Yeah, I can see that clearly.
Thank you for this.
We want to show about the trend of Mercury hats. So it's very important to know, because in the past Mercury was using to production of felt
in 18th and 19th century, and it's maybe this prolonged exposure led tremors and sometimes delirium accompanied by shyness and irritability. Like many people thought that carbon-centric hatter was suffering. Seeing this dangerous trend, people started to use the colloquial English phrase "mad as a hatter," and also the Mad Hatter person was inspired in this dangerous trend. So it's or
Okay, that's very interesting. Hats with mercury. Never heard of it. Okay, for hat makers, there is something interesting there that it says felt hat. I'm going to share a picture so that your classmates get an idea of what it is. A felt hat. So let me share here my screen. So this is a felt hat.
Is it like the fabric material?
Yeah. It's the cloth. Yeah, the fabric. Yes. So, I had no idea. So I have never heard of it, like honestly. So with delirium, latimer, oh wow, shyness and irritability.
I didn't know that they were made with mercury.
No.
Goes into that.
Yes.
Toxic material.
Hats with mercury. Huh.
Mercury is toxic in the
it's also dangerous
ion,
because the
ionic
people
form.
that make it suffer this ill, and the people that use it.
So
But in the past
with mercury. Yes. Let me see.
Maybe
Well, I can't find one. I had like hats with mercury, and
maybe
I have like
maybe right trend.
trend. Yes, trend, like year trend. No, trend hats with mercury. Trend, no. Trend. Let me see if I can, because I want to. No, I mean it's the same. Yeah, no. Well, yeah.
Well, consider that I think was in the 19th century. The people used to eat mercury. But to that, to wear just hat with mercury is not that bad. It's like more healthy.
But teacher, it's has like for example the style of the Sherlock Holmes. This is like is in the field to make or the construction of the hat, but the people use in field of the hat.
Okay. That's interesting. I had no idea about it. Thank you very much, group number 3, for teaching us something something today, because I'm sure we, like any of us, had idea about it. So thank you very much. Okay, people, so there are hundreds of trends that we will never understand why they were a trend or why they are still a trend. Oh, Angelica, okay. Thank you for sharing that. So they look like fancy, and there used to be like in maybe like in old movies, man used to wear these hats, or these kind of hats. So wow, I had no idea about it, but now I know. So thank you very much, group number 3, for your activity. That I was shocked by this. Okay, people, excellent job. So now that we're talking about trends, now that we're talking about these adjectives to describe these trends, we're going to do some practice about it. We're going to review vocabulary, and so I'm going to explain the next activity that we're going to be working on. Just give me 1 second, I'll share my screen. Alrighty, my people, very good. So we are going to work on my English lab, and we're going to open Unit 7, which is the unit we're working on right now. And then in Unit 7, we have vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, word spot, listen and read, grammar, and writing. So we're going to work on the first vocabulary. When you click on it, you're going to see descriptive adjectives and extreme fashion, which is the topic that we are talking about. So we are going to start with descriptive adjectives. When you click on descriptive adjectives, you are going to see activity number 1. So I'm going to share my screen here, and you are going to work individually on this task. So here, when you open activity number 1, you are going to use the clues to complete the words. And there is the part of a speech is given in brackets. So I'm going to give you an example here. With a lot of decoration, especially with complicated details, and then we have that the word that we need to find out is an adjective. So the adjective here is ornate. Ornate means something with a lot of decoration, especially with many complicated details, okay? That is ornate. What is the meaning of ornate in Spanish? What will be the meaning? The adjective ornate. Sorry?
Like super decorado, but I don't know, in one word.
Yeah, decorated. It's a synonym of decorated, okay? So with a lot of decoration, especially with many complicated details, something that is that it's decorado, right? That's it. Or it's a synonym of decorado. So that is ornate, and it's an adjective. Decorado, it's an adjective. Ornate, it's an adjective. So then we have number 2, with small holes in it to let you wear jewelry. Okay, so small holes in it that allows you to wear to let you wear jewelry, like in your ears, in your nose, in your belly. I mean, like any part that you can have a jewelry. Okay, and again, it is an adjective. It starts with a P and it ends with a D. So you need to write down here some words that you think describes this this word or this definition. Okay, for number 3, it's the line of hair above your eye. It is a noun. I think that's pretty easy.
Eyebrow.
Eyebrow. Yes, very good. So this one is eyebrow, right? Eyebrow. Oopsie.
Ay, los otros son hoyuelas, ¿no?
Which one?
No, mentira, no. I don't know.
Number 4 is die.
Okay. So that is what yes, Freddy, excellent. So that is what I want you to do, guys. I want you to look at the clues. I want you to try to find out the word that is hidden. I mean, you have a clue there, and you have the part of a speech that corresponds to that word that we need to find out. So number 4 is to change the color of your clothes, hair, etc., using a liquid or a powder. And this is a verb. So what will be the verb here? It starts with D It only has 3 letters, and Freddy already said that
Power
is
drive?
dye.
Yes.
Dye. Dye means teñir. Okay, pintar, teñir. But that is for clothes. That is, for example, for a we use
For the hair.
yes. But if you're talking about like like walls, or like paper, you use the verb paint, right? But for our hair, we didn't say, oh, I'm gonna paint my hair. No, I mean, I'm gonna dye my hair. So it's different. I mean, it means the same, that is pintar, but we dye clothes, we dye our hair, we paint a wall, we paint a chair. Okay, is it clear? I mean, it's the same verb, pintar, in Spanish, but it's different at the same time. So that is what I want you to do. There are 20 words here. We have adjective. The majority of them are adjective noun. Well, we have a noun here, adjective, noun, adjective, and noun. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of minutes for you to work on them. There are some adjectives from yesterday, because I mean the activity is descriptive adjectives, so of course the majority of them are adjectives, and some of them are from yesterday's adjectives that are on page 66. Okay, so you can find, for example, these: dirty and untidy. It starts with S and it ends in Y. It is an adjective that we studied yesterday. Okay, so you can go back to the book, you can check, and then we are going to I'm going to give you a couple of
Scruffy
minutes.
teacher.
Which one?
H is scruffy.
Yes.
Scruffy.
Scruffy. Excellent. So this is from yesterday. Scruffy. Oh, sorry. It's scruffy, double F. Scruffy. So scruffy, it's dirty and untidy, and it's an adjective. Okay, so go ahead, guys. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. When you finish, please let me know so we can check. If you have questions, of course you can ask me. Is the activity clear? Yes. Okay, very good. So again, I am going to share how you access the activity. So when you click on unit 7, the first vocabulary, I mean, it's the only vocabulary, honestly. And then descriptive adjectives, activity number 1. Okay, activity number 1, that is the activity we're going to be working on. So please start. Thank you. Let me know when you finish, please. Let me know. Ready, guys?
No, yet, teacher.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Okay. Let's check this before we go on our break. Number 2, with small holes in it to let you wear jewelry. Which adjective would you use here? It starts with a P, it ends with a D.
Pierced.
Pierced. Yes, very good, Christian. Excellent. Pierced. So something, these adjective pierced means small holes to let you wear jewelry. Number 3, we have already discussed about, it's eyebrow. Number 4 already, dye, that is to change the color of your clothes, hair, etc. Number 5, a low, fast car, often with a roof that can be folded back. It's a noun.
Sports car.
Sports car. So a sports car. Yes, that's a noun. Next one. A pretty and attractive looking. It's an adjective.
Cute.
Cute. Yes, cute. Excellent. Cute. Let me see the chat. Yes, very good, Sarai. Excellent. Number 7, not formal, and it's an adjective.
Casual.
Casual. Yes.
Casual.
Casual. Excellent. Very good, Sarai, as well. Number 8, we have dirty and untidy. That's scruffy. Scruffy. Number 9, very plain with little or no color or decoration.
Sleep.
Stark.
Which one?
Stark.
Stark. Stark. The adjective is stark. Stark, it's something very plain with little or no color or no decoration. Do we have an adjective that is similar in Spanish? What will be like a synonym of this adjective in Spanish?
Teacher, like sodium?
Sodium, yes. Yes. Very plain with little or no color decoration. Stark. Number 10, with a confident, fashionable, and expensive appearance. It's a long one.
Sophisticated.
Yes. Sophisticated. Sophisticated. Yes. 11, very bright colored in a way that is unpleasant to look at. And it's an adjective. Which one?
Garish.
Garish. Yes, garish. So something colorful, but and bright colors, but it's something like that we are not like, oh, that's cute. No, not pleasant. I mean, it's unpleasant to look at. Garish. 12, old but high quality.
Vintage.
Vintage. Yes, vintage. Excellent. An object in the home which is there because it is attractive rather than useful. It's a noun.
Ornament.
Yes, ornaments. Excellent. Ornament. Number 14, using very simple ideas or patterns used for rooms or interiors. It's an adjective.
Minimalist.
Yes, excellent. Minimalists. Very simple ideas or patterns. Number 15, not following the usual rules of how people normally think, dress, behave, etc.
Unconventional.
Unconventional, yes. So the opposite of conventional, right? Conventional. Okay, convention. Oh, hold on, let me My bad. Sorry. And convention. Excellent. Number 16. Silly makes you seem younger than you are. Childish. Childish. Yes, childish. This is infantil in Spanish. Number 17, a French word used in English to mean fashionable and expensive.
Chic.
Chic. Very good. 18, very pretty or perfect in a way which is silly or unpleasant. Twee. Twee. 19, belonging to the present time.
Contemporary.
Yes, contemporary. Contemporary. And the last one, a type of casual club, a casual shoe originally worn for playing sports. What is it?
Trainer?
This is super easy. Trainers. Trainers. Yes, it's used to do
I was thinking in tennis, no.
No, trainers.
Slippers, no.
No, trainers. Okay, very good, guys. We're going in a break. I'll see you at 7:42, 7:43, okay? So see you shortly. Okay, guys. So we are back after our short break. And now we're going to continue. Before we move on to the next activity, right before our break, we were working on this task in which we were trying to find out some words that we're hitting, and we just had the definition, but we had to find out the word. Do you have any questions about this vocabulary, guys? Is there any question about it? Or is everything clear so far?
It's clear so far, teacher.
It is clear.
It is clear. Okay, awesome. So we are going to do another one that is shorter. This one is, I mean, it's similar, but it's shorter for sure. So let me open this, and then after this activity we're going to work on the grammar explanation, that is auxiliaries, inversion using auxiliaries and adverbs. So let me share my screen here. This one is about extreme fashion. Hold on. Okay, so we are back in my English lab in the website. And then as a second activity in the vocabulary section, we have the scripted adjective, that's the one that we just did. And then we have extreme fashion. So when we click on extreme fashion, we're going to see one activity that says activity 2. And when you click on it, you are going to see this one, that, as I said, this one is shorter. And you need to complete the descriptions with the words in the box. This is shorter and easier because all of these words we know them, okay? Or we are more familiar with. So we have wig, leggings, jumpsuit, platform shoes, ponytail, shoulder pads. Give me 1 second.
Teacher, you have your mic off. Okay.
Guys, I am really sorry. I need to sleep for a minute. I'll be back. In the meantime, you are going to continue working on this activity that I was just explaining. So you are going to drag and drop the words here. There is an example. The first one is some superheroes wear these on the back. So this is a cloak. So these are very tight trousers. What is it? Leggings, jumpsuit, platform shoes, ponytail, shoulder.
Leggings.
So that is what I want you to do, okay? So I am going to leave for a minute, but then I'll be back, okay? In the meantime, you work on this task. Thank you very much. Is it clear? Is the activity clear?
Teacher,
Yes,
it's what
teacher.
for?
Sorry, Angelica?
Which one? Activity 2
It's
is
activity 2, extreme fashion. The one that says extreme fashion here. Extreme fashion. Okay, so please start working on it, and then I'll be back in a minute or two. Thank you. Okay, guys, so I'm back. Did you finish with the task?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, this one is easier and it's shorter for sure. So the first one is some superheroes wear it on their back. That's a cloak. Number two, these are very tight trousers. What is it?
Leggings.
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 Very good. Number three, these were very popular in the 1980s. People wore them in their suit jackets.
Shoulder pads.
Shoulder pads. Hair tied together at the back of the heads.
Ponytails.
A ponytail. Something that covers your whole body.
Jumpsuit.
Jumpsuits. Yes, excellent. Wearing these makes you taller.
Platform shoes.
Platform shoes. Excellent. Let me move this down. If you want to change your hairstyle very quickly, you'll need one of this.
Wig.
That's a wig. And the last one, if you wear these in your shoes and they only cover your feet.
Ankle socks.
Ankle socks. Okay. So this is vocabulary related to fashion. I mean, nothing like extreme here, but still it's vocabulary related to fashion. And then with this, we are going to finish this part. There is a last activity. There is an activity on the book that I would like you to work on as an extra practice. So let me share my screen here with the book, and I will show you the activity that I'm talking about. Okay. So this is, think of 7 items of clothing or accessories that other students might not know or that are not that popular, like for example, shirt or jeans, but other items of clothing or accessories, not like a watch or earrings, but other like that are not that common. And then we have, for example, for the upper body, there is a clog, this one that we just did on the previous activity. Remember that it's something that some superheroes wear at the back of their body or at their back. Okay. Something for the head or something for the hair. What is something that is maybe not that common, but still it's an item of clothing or an accessory? Whole body, lower body, feet, underwear, and jewelry. Okay, so this is for you as an extra practice about extreme fashion. And now, people, we are going to do a listening exercise, and then with this listening exercise, we are going to move on to the next activity, that is adding emphasis with auxiliaries and inversion. So this activity or this listening is kind of long, guys. It lasts 6 minutes or so. So what I want you to do is we are going to read the sentences and the questions. You are going to write down what you listen, what you understand, because there is a lot of information. Okay, there is a lot of information. And then we're going to choose the correct answer in each of the sentences. So the first one, it's definitely not a myth that, and then A, B, or C, in many 18th century, wings had mice living in them. People slept outright because of their wigs, and someone had a model ship built into their wig. So we're going to listen to it, and we're going to check, or we're going to circle the correct answer. So I'm going to give you a minute to read the questions and to read the options. This is going to give you a general idea of what we are going to listen to. When this is the first thing you should do always before a listening activity, you should look at the questions, look at the options, because that is going to give you a clue of what you're going to listen to. So it's not going to be like a surprise, but you are self-conscious that you are going to listen to something related to this. So I'm going to give you a minute for you to read the questions, for you to read the sentences, and then we're going to start with the listening exercise. So go ahead, please start reading. Thank you. Okay, Dawn? Do you finish reading the questions and the options? Hello, guys, did you finish reading the sentences here and the options?
Teacher.
No, not yet?
Not yet, teacher.
Okay, 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 okay. Ready?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So again, the listening is long, okay? It lasts 6 minutes. So what I want you to do is to write down some of the ideas that you consider important. And if you need to listen to it again, we will, okay? If you think that it's enough with just listening to it once, then we will only listen to it once. So you let me know, okay? So let's start. Let me share my screen. Let me share this sound. And we will start.
Unit 7, Recording 3.
What were the weirdest fashions in history?
Some of the greatest excesses in the history of fashion, and I think most people would agree, took place in the European courts of the 18th century. First of all, there were the women's dresses. The panniers at the side of these dresses, which were kind of wire cages built underneath the skirt, meant that one of these court ladies would take up the space of maybe 3 men and would have had to walk sideways through most doors. The aristocrats who lived in these courts, who were, of course, only a tiny elite in society, they saw their clothes as a way of displaying their wealth. They dressed in a lavish way to show off their economic status, and, of course, their clothes showed that they didn't have to work or do anything practical. And then there were the vast powdered wigs worn by both men and women, though I do think some of the stories told about them are, in fact, exaggerated. I don't know, for example, if many people really had mice living in their wigs or if people really slept in a seated position because of their wigs. But the story of a wig with a model ship built into it is certainly a true one. That really did happen. What is rather strange is that when Americans and Europeans of this period traveled to Japan, they found the fashion among wealthy Japanese men for wearing their ponytail stuck to the top of their head, samurai style, very strange. They wrote about it in their diaries. It didn't seem to occur to them that their own preference for enormously tall wigs must have looked pretty weird too.
Right. And which was the most uncomfortable or harmful fashion in history?
There are a lot of contenders for this title, mostly affecting women, of course, since one recurrent feature of fashion throughout history is the way it has made women physically weaker, even disabled in extreme cases, we could say, in order perhaps to make men feel stronger and more powerful. In America and Europe, I think we would have to point to the corset worn by women for so many centuries. These frequently restricted breathing, broke ribs, and even caused miscarriages. They really could be very dangerous garments. There was also the rather strange fashion of about 100 years ago of wearing hobble skirts. These skirts mimicked the styles worn by Japanese geishas, and they were so tight round the ankles that women could only walk with the tiniest steps. They apparently wore belts round their ankles to keep their steps short enough. And of course, there are similar examples in many cultures. The neck rings worn by Padung tribeswomen from childhood intended to lengthen their necks, which can also deform their shoulders. And of course, the tradition of binding the feet of female children to keep them small and dainty, which survived in China until the beginning of the 20th century. And I guess many of the super high-heeled shoes that we see on catwalks today fall into this category. The history of fashion is full of incredibly uncomfortable, impractical garments, in actual fact.
What was the biggest moment of change in fashion history?
I think I would point to two moments in modern history, really. Perhaps the most important one, for women in many countries at least, was at the end of the First World War. During the war, many women had been working in factories or driving carts and so forth, and they needed to wear more functional, less decorative clothes to reflect their new lifestyle. So the corsets were thrown away. Skirt lengths went up from the ankles to just below the knee, and long hair, which could get caught in factory machinery and so on, was cut short. Women's fashion essentially transformed from what it had been for centuries to what it is today. The other key moment, I think, was the 60s and the hippie movement. Up until that time, people had seen clothes as a reflection of their place in society. So a laborer would wear a different type of hat from a man who worked in an office, for example. But from the hippie era onwards, people began to see clothes much more as a way of expressing who they were, a way of expressing their individuality by growing their hair, wearing bright colors, or whatever they felt like. And that is something that has remained with us to a greater or lesser extent, I think.
In your opinion, what are the worst fashions of recent times?
Oh, I'm spoiled for choice here. I can think of so many. In recent years, I would probably pick out hanging pants. You know, that charming fashion for young men, or mostly young men, to wear their jeans so low that you can see their undergarments. I mean, how's that gonna look in 20 years' time, really? Another trend I hate is wearing big glasses frames without any lenses in them. Very pretentious in my view. What else? Meggings. Leggings for men. That is not a good look in my book. Oh, and another thing I have seen on the catwalks recently, which I really don't like, is the fashion for wearing mega high heels with ankle socks. Again, I don't think we'll look back on it in 10 years' time and think, wow, that was cool. But really, there are so many examples that I could go on and on.
How long does it take on average for a fashion to be recycled? And why do some fashions keep coming back?
It's generally reckoned that fashions make a comeback roughly every 20 years, that they're usually at their most outdated about 12 to 15 years after they were originally in. As to why, I don't know if I can answer that question. I would like to say that it's usually the most elegant and classical styles that get recycled, like those of the 50s and early 60s. And we definitely do see those styles coming back again and again. But some of the ugliest fashions also make a comeback. Platform shoes, for example, which seem to come back into fashion time and again, or jumpsuits, or shoulder pads. I think the truth is, if you wait long enough, every fashion will come round again. So maybe we'll be seeing those low-hanging pants again one day. Ha!
Okay, how was it? No words. Terrible. No words, really? How was it listening?
Where can I listen in again?
Okay, where
It was
yes?
too long, teacher.
Too long. I mean, it was too long, but I think it's one of the most interesting recordings that I have listened to, because he talks about so many different trends, like fashion trends, and it talks about some of the trends that we saw yesterday on the video. So he mentions the corset, he mentions the shoe binding in China. Do you remember that one? That the idea is to keep their feet small, and he also
Yeah, the
yeah.
corset
He also mentioned
with
uh-huh. He also mentions one that we talked about yesterday. There. Oh, the neck, the women from
a neck, yeah,
yeah.
the neck
Well,
pink.
yes, I forgot the name from the country where they do that. Well, that trend in which women usually tend to have their necks long. So he mentioned some of these trends that we talked about yesterday and that we watched on the video. So it was very interesting. And then he talks about one of like the wars in during, I mean, for his point of view, like the
It was
worst
really
fashion trend.
funny.
Yeah. And then he talks about one that is the low hanging pants
Oh
that
my God.
yeah, oh my
Or the
goodness.
leggings.
Yeah, the leggings, yeah. Leggings for a man. So he talks about those ones. So that was a very
Or the glasses
yeah,
with
the
a
glasses
lens.
with no lenses. Yes, very good. So it was very interesting. I mean, I love this one. So do you think you need to listen to it again, or you think you got the answers? What do you think? What do you think,
Again,
guys?
teacher.
Again?
Sorry.
Okay.
I can't
No,
get the answers.
Again,
okay.
please.
Okay,
You
very
can put
good.
it again.
Okay, sure. So I'm going to play the recording again.
Unit 7, Recording 3.
What were the weirdest fashions in history?
Some of the greatest excesses in the history of fashion, and I think most people would agree, took place in the European courts of the 18th century. First of all, there were the women's dresses. The panniers at the side of these dresses, which were kind of wire cages built underneath the skirt, meant that one of these court ladies would take up the space of maybe 3 men and would have had to walk sideways through most doors. The aristocrats who lived in these courts, who were, of course, only a tiny elite in society, they saw their clothes as a way of displaying their wealth. They dressed in a lavish way to show off their economic status, and, of course, their clothes showed that they didn't have to work or do anything practical. And then there were the vast powdered wigs worn by both men and women, though I do think some of the stories told about them are, in fact, exaggerated. I don't know, for example, if many people really had mice living in their wigs, or if people really slept in a seated position because of their wigs. But the story of a wig with a model ship built into it is certainly a true one. That really did happen. What is rather strange is that when Americans and Europeans of this period traveled to Japan, they found the fashion among wealthy Japanese men for wearing their ponytail stuck to the top of their head, samurai style, very strange. They wrote about it in their diaries. It didn't seem to occur to them that their own preference for enormously tall wigs must have looked pretty weird too.
Right. And which was the most uncomfortable or harmful fashion in history?
There are a lot of contenders for this title, mostly affecting women, of course, since one recurrent feature of fashion throughout history is the way it has made women physically weaker, even disabled in extreme cases, we could say, in order perhaps to make men feel stronger and more powerful. In America and Europe, I think we would have to point to the corset worn by women for so many centuries. These frequently restricted breathing, broke ribs, and even caused miscarriages. They really could be very dangerous garments. There was also the rather strange fashion of about 100 years ago of wearing hobble skirts. These skirts mimicked the styles worn by Japanese geishas, and they were so tight round the ankles that women could only walk with the tiniest steps. They apparently wore belts round their ankles to keep their steps short enough. And of course, there are similar examples in many cultures. The neck rings worn by Padung tribeswomen from childhood, intended to lengthen their necks, which can also deform their shoulders. And of course, the tradition of binding the feet of female children to keep them small and dainty, which survived in China until the beginning of the 20th century. And I guess many of the super high-heeled shoes that we see on catwalks today fall into this category. The history of fashion is full of incredibly uncomfortable, impractical garments, in actual fact.
What was the biggest moment of change in fashion history?
I think I would point to two moments in modern history, really. Perhaps the most important one, for women in many countries at least, was at the end of the First World War. During the war, many women had been working in factories or driving carts and so forth, and they needed to wear more functional, less decorative clothes to reflect their new lifestyle. So the corsets were thrown away. Skirt lengths went up from the ankles to just below the knee, and long hair, which could get caught in factory machinery and so on, was cut short. Women's fashion essentially transformed from what it had been for centuries to what it is today. The other key moment, I think, was the 60s and the hippie movement. Up until that time, people had seen clothes as a reflection of their place in society. So a laborer would wear a different type of hat from a man who worked in an office, for example. But from the hippie era onwards, people began to see clothes much more as a way of expressing who they were, a way of expressing their individuality by growing their hair, wearing bright colors, or whatever they felt like. And that is something that has remained with us to a greater or lesser extent, I think.
In your opinion, what are the worst fashions of recent times?
Oh, I'm spoilt for choice here. I can think of so many. In recent years, I would probably pick out hanging pants. You know, that charming fashion for young men, or mostly young men, to wear their jeans so low that you can see their undergarments. I mean, how's that gonna look in 20 years' time, really? Another trend I hate is wearing big glasses frames without any lenses in them. Very pretentious in my view. What else? Meggings. Leggings for men. That is not a good look in my book. Oh, and another thing I have seen on the catwalks recently, which I really don't like, is the fashion for wearing mega high heels with ankle socks. Again, I don't think we'll look back on it in 10 years' time and think, wow, that was cool. But really, there are so many examples that I could go on and on.
How long does it take on average for a fashion to be recycled? And why do some fashions keep coming back?
It's generally reckoned that fashions make a comeback roughly every 20 years. That they're usually at their most outdated about 12 to 15 years after they were originally in. As to why, I don't know if I can answer that question. I would like to say that it's usually the most elegant and classical styles that get recycled, like those of the 50s and early 60s. And we definitely do see those styles coming back again and again. But some of the ugliest fashions also make a comeback. Platform shoes, for example, which seem to come back into fashion time and again, or jumpsuits, or shoulder pads. I think the truth is, if you wait long enough, every fashion will come round again. So maybe we'll be seeing those low-hanging pants again one day. Ha!
Okay, people, very, very, very good. So now we're going to analyze the questions and the answers. Number one, it's definitely not a myth that A, B, or C. Which one did you choose and why? Oh my goodness, no word. B.
I'm going for C.
Oh, sorry, I understood B.
C.
Okay, Freddy is going for Brian. Brian, come on.
Who's doing that?
Brian.
Oh.
Yeah. Come on, Brian.
So for C that says someone had a model ship
let me
built into their wake.
eliminate this. Hold on. Okay. Okay. So again, number one, it's definitely not a myth that someone had a model shift built into their wig.
Into the wig.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So do you guys agree? Guys, do you guys agree that the answer for this question will be letter C? What?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay, I am going to take that as a yes from everyone in the session. I would take that as a yes, that you agree with Freddy and that the answer is C, and yes, actually it is C. So it is not
About the others, because about the others options, he said that there is no confirmation.
yes, exactly.
That the
But
wig had like mice within.
but it is confirmed that some of them had a model shipped built into their wings. Do you know what this is? Do you know what they're talking about about a model
I
ship?
Google it. That's
Okay,
interesting.
yes, model ship.
Because I couldn't imagine it. So.
In a wig. Yes. Let's see, in a wig. Let's see. This one. So it will be this kind of wigs with a.
And it was like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was for sure. So it's not a myth. That is not a myth. So yes, the answer for question number one is C. Let's go with number two. When the 18th century Americans and Europeans traveled to Japan, which one did you answer? Guys, I'm going to stop here for a second because I have something important to ask you. Hold on, give me 1 second. Chicos, tengo una pregunta importante que hacerles. Ustedes me acaban de escribir, pues la coordinadora nos acaba de escribir, preguntando si ustedes recibieron algún tipo de correo con información sobre una graduación.
No, teacher.
No.
¿No?
Profe.
No,
Okay.
no graduación, no.
Sí, porque es que dentro de poco tiempo hay una graduación de, pues es el 28 de junio, y unos estudiantes de la 2 recibieron esa, pues de los que empezaron en A2 recibieron esa información como de una graduación, pero pues Carolina, la coordinadora, nos dice que desconoce esta información. Entonces yo dije, bueno, voy a preguntarles a mis chicos del B2 si ellos recibieron, voy a confirmar que no. Dicen, desconozco esta información, mañana consulto, pero pues ustedes no recibieron nada.
Una compañera del A2 sí lo recibió, justo me lo acaba de enviar y también quedé como...
Ajá, sí. Ajá, espérenme. Necesariamente no reciben nada al respecto. Sí, porque, bueno, no sé. Está muy extraño. Please join us as ceremonia se realizará. Sí, me enviaron el correo del Instituto de Lenguas. Pues nos enviaron una imagen. Pero quería preguntar si alguno de ustedes lo recibió. Pero veo que no, veo que ninguno, ¿cierto?
No, teacher.
No.
Pero yo no lo recibí tampoco.
Pues se me
No.
hace extraño porque se supone que ustedes se gradúan una vez se finalicen todos los ciclos. No creo que entonces haya una graduación para los que terminan A2, luego B1, o no sé, o sea, se me hace extraño. Entonces quería como confirmar esto para escribirle a Carolina e informarle que pues ustedes no recibieron ningún correo. Pues, debe ella de pronto corroborar desde la dirección, porque algunos de esos estudiantes se pudieron de pronto haber filtrado para estos correos o qué pudo haber pasado ahí, pero bueno, nada. Let's continue. Thank you for confirming. Gracias por confirmar esta información, que es muy, muy, muy importante. Okay. So, let's continue. Number 2, when the 18th century, Americans and Europeans traveled to Japan, which of the options do you choose for this? Japanese people found their wigs very strange. They seem
Maybe it's the B option B.
Option B? B?
B is the answer, yeah.
Yes, B is the answer. Very good. So they seemed unaware that their wigs might seem strange to Japanese people. Yes, yes, yes. And they actually, he mentioned something like they wrote something about in their diaries and so on.
In the diaries, yeah.
Yes. Ok, hold on. Entiendo según lo que veo las ceremonias para quienes completaron nivel A2, los tuyos completaron B1. Ok. Son los estudiantes del grupo 2, B1-5, que reportaron que recibieron el mensaje. O sea, es como, bueno, es extraño. Okay, anyway. Nothing that it's a matter of, like, or interests us right now. Number 3, corsets. Corsets what? A, B, or C? Corsets.
B?
B?
C.
C?
B, I'm going for B.
Okay. So yeah, actually the answer is B. The answer is corsets are typical of a certain type of fashion which weakened women physically, and the other one was forced women to only take very short steps when they walked. I mean, the answer is also, I mean, we're not talking about like steps. For the steps is with the dress, like after the corsets, they talk about the dresses. They mention this kind of dress. Let me check the name that I wrote it down. It's called the pannier. No, the hobby skirts. These ones, the hobble skirts. These ones. So they talk about the hobble skirts. These ones were the ones that did not, but no, I want to see like a old-fashioned one. Hold on. Old-fashioned. Well, kind of like these ones. So these are the ones that they mentioned that they were not, I mean, they didn't allow or they forced women to take only short or very short steps when they walk.
Yeah.
Yes, but not corsets. I mean, corsets were more dangerous because they said like broken bones, even miscarriages, but not about, they didn't mention that they could only take short steps when they were talking about corsets. So the answer was B. Number 4, according to the speaker, following the hippie movement in the 1960s, which one, A, B, or C?
C.
C, okay. Anybody else? Like any other answer? Or do you agree with Freddie?
I agree with Freddie, teacher.
Okay, so you agree with Freddie. Yes? Yes, so people increasingly saw their clothes as an expression of their personality. Yes, in the 60s. And the last question, in the speaker's opinion, A, B, or C? Only classic styles get recycled. It's hard to explain why certain fashions reappear, or long hanging pants will look cool in 20 years time. We had an answer B. I'm not sure, or I didn't see who said that, but do you guys agree that the answer will be letter B or option B? It's hard to explain why certain fashions reappear.
Yes, B.
Yes,
I go for that.
Yes. So the answer is B. It's hard to explain why certain fashions reappear. He mentions the low-hanging pants, but he never says that they will look cool in 20 years time. In fact, he was like, oh, like he doesn't understand why that was a trend. And he said, like, look in 20 years time, how do you think they're going to look, huh? But he never said that in 20 years time they are going to look cool. Not at all, not at all. So my people, it's this listening was very interesting because I don't know if you noticed that the speaker used auxiliary to give more emphasis to the sentences. So he said, for example, I do think that some of the stories or that really did happen. So we use auxiliaries to add more emphasis. This is a topic that we studied many cycles ago, that is like auxiliaries in order to give emphasis. So for example, when I say you didn't call me last night and I was waiting for your call, and then I said, no, I did call you but you didn't answer. When I say I did call you in an affirmative sentence, because we usually don't use auxiliary verbs in affirmative sentences. I mean, I'm talking about do or does. However, when we normally use them in negative, in negative and in questions, but we can also use it in affirmative when we want to give more emphasis to the sentence. So when I say I did call you, so it means yo sí te llamé. Like in Spanish we say yo sí te llamé, yo sí te escribí, pero no contestaste. Okay, so I did call you, I did write you, or I did text you, or no haces la tarea para la clase, for example, and I said no, I do, or no estudias para el examen, I do study for the exam. That means yo sí estudio, yo sí hago. So that we can also use it in affirmative sentences, but when we want to make emphasis on something. Okay, so here the speaker used also auxiliaries to make a sentence more emphatic about something. So he said, like, for example, women certainly did suffer for the sake of fashion. So we can say women suffered, but then again with the verb in conjugated to the past. So women suffered suffered with the D, because it's a regular verb. Some women did suffered for the sake of fashion. But if we want to add if we want to make it or make emphasis on the sentence, we use the auxiliary, in that case did, because we're talking about the past. So women certainly did suffer for the sake of fashion. Or in present, we say we definitely do keep coming back to certain fashions. So we can easily say we keep coming back to certain fashions, but with the auxiliary do, we definitely do, it means that it's for sure, or we want to make it more emphatic. We want to add more emphasis to the sentence. We can use auxiliary verbs like do, like does, like did. And we can also use adverbs like certainly, definitely, or really. Okay, we're gonna do examples of this. For example, another, it's a inversion. Okay, we can also add emphasis by inverting the subject and the auxiliary, usually in spoken. Okay, usually in spoken English. When I say am I glad to see you, so instead of saying I am glad to see you, I say am I glad to see you. So that will be the inversion that we usually do when we want to ask a question, right? That is the inversion for questions. However, we can also say it or use it in affirmative sentences, but when we want to add emphasis. Okay. Or was I surprised when I heard the news? So in a regular sentence, I would say I was surprised. I was surprised when I heard the news, but if I want to add more emphasis to the sentence, I said, was I surprised when I heard the news? Okay, so we are going to, yes.
Sorry, if I can recognize that's word an affirmative sentence instead of an interrogative sentence, that's depend of the intonation that
The
I
intonation,
use.
yeah, of course, of
Okay.
course, of course. You could say, was I surprised when I heard the news? But then if you want to sound like it's not a question, then you can use a high pitch, like, was I surprised when I heard the news? You see, so the intonation plays an important role. That's why this is usually in spoken English, okay? Because when we write, we cannot add, or it's not that easy to or for people to understand what we mean, because in spoken English in writing English there is no intonation for sure. I mean, not at all. So that's why this is more common in spoken English. So we're going to do practice on this, and we're going to do these exercises, and we're going to see how these, or how we can transform these sentences so that it add more emphasis to the statement. So we have number one, I am pleased we left before the trouble started. That's the normal sentence. So if I want to make emphasis, so I say, am I pleased we left before the trouble started? So am I pleased? In this one, I am using the inversion, and it sounds more, or with more emphasis. So we have, I felt sorry for Charlie when I saw him yesterday. So how can I add more emphasis to the sentence? What do you think, guys? What do you think we can, I mean, how can we add more emphasis to this?
Based on the previous one, but
Yes.
I'm sorry for Charlie when I saw him yesterday.
Okay. Or we can use the auxiliary. I mean, take a look at the sentence, guys. We can use, we can also add emphasis by inverting the subject and the auxiliary. However, here in the example, we have verb to be. So of course there is not auxiliary. So we invert it as if it was a question. Yes, Harold.
Sorry, teacher. Can we say, did be I surprised, for adding more emphasis? No.
Be, you can never use it with
Because it's a verb to be.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So you can never say I don't be. No. You say I am not, he is not. You don't say he doesn't be or he doesn't eat. No, it's not possible, because remember that verb to be is, I always say that verb to be is one of the most powerful verbs in English. I mean, it is actually one of the most powerful verbs in English. So we never see the verb to be with another, or with an auxiliary verb. I always say that verb to be is an enemy of auxiliary verbs. Okay. So we are going to do this exercise. Let me stop sharing here my screen, because I'm going to open a document. So let me stop sharing my screen for a second. And then I'm going to open the document. Remember that we can also add the adverbs, like really, to add emphasis. So let me. Oh no, never mind. I'm going to do it here next to the on the book next to it, so that you can see the question and you can also see the sentence. So I'm going to, hold on. If I write something here, can you see the note, like hello, for example? Can you see what I just wrote?
Yes, teacher. Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, because I was going to open another document, but it's better if you see like the answer right next to it. So let's see. Number 2, I felt sorry for Charlie when I saw him yesterday. So how can I add emphasis to this sentence? I did feel I did feel sorry. Yes, that is one way. So you could say, I'm going to write it here. I did. But then if I say I did feel, I cannot say I did felt. Okay. Because remember that once we have the auxiliary in the sentence, the verb is relaxed. I always say that verbs in English are very lazy. So whenever you find the auxiliary do or does, the verb decides to stop working. I mean, and they're not conjugated anymore. So whenever you find did or do in the sentence, you don't need to conjugate the verb, because the auxiliary is telling me that the sentence is in the past. So I did feel sorry for Charlie. You can say this. I did feel sorry for Charlie when I saw him yesterday. Do we have another option? Maybe using an auxiliary, maybe not an auxiliary, sorry.
I definitely did.
Or only using an adverb. Sorry, Angelica.
I already think.
Can you say it again? I couldn't hear you.
Yes, teacher. I already think you have a responsibility.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you clearly. Well, I heard some of like you were trying to use an adverb. And yes, another way to add emphasis to the sentence is by using an adverb. For example, the adverb really. So I felt, you can say I felt really sorry. I felt really sorry for Charlie when I saw him yesterday. Okay, so there are also two ways to show emphasis. So you can definitely use it or say it in the regular way, like, oh, I felt sorry for Charlie when I saw him yesterday. But if you want to add extra emphasis to the sentence, you can say, I did feel sorry for Charlie when I saw him yesterday.
Teacher,
yes.
For example, if the time was in present, did change? We have to change it
Yes.
for do.
For do, yes. I do feel.
For example, in another times, participle have feel sorry.
Well, no, because then you would use the inversion, because have is already, or has is already an auxiliary verb, so we cannot add another auxiliary verb. Okay, so that is a different, that will be a different tense or a different situation, and in that way you would need you would use the inversion, like in verb to be, like am I or was I. Okay.
Okay, teacher.
Good. So I did feel sorry. If you use this, guys, you need to add emphasis to the sentence. You need to say I did feel sorry, like adding a emphasis in the auxiliary. I did feel sorry, or I felt really sorry for Charlie when I saw him yesterday. Okay. So if you add emphasis to the sentence, you need to add emphasis when you pronounce it or the intonation. Okay. So it is also important. Let's go with number 3. This flat is a mess. I think you have a responsibility to help with the housework. How would you transform this sentence using or giving or making or using?
I do think.
Okay. So this flat is a mess. This flat is a mess. I do think, because it's in present, right? I do think you have the responsibility to help with the housework. Okay. Or using an adverb. This one is a mess. I really think that you have the responsibility to help with the housework, okay? Or I do think. Number 4, I'm absolutely exhausted. I need to get some sleep.
I really need. I am absolutely exhausted. I really or I do need to get some.
Yes, excellent. Very good, Danny. So I am absolutely. Do you remember these guys like exhausted? Is it, what kind of adjective is it?
Intensifier.
Yes. So absolutely. But remember that we can only use absolutely with ungradable adjectives. Like there is no more. It's like when I say, for example, extreme adjectives, como los extreme adjectives or los ungradable adjectives. Por ejemplo, ¿hay algo más después de exhausted? You can say, for example, tired. Tired is a gradable adjective. Porque tired es como cansado, es como cuando digo en español, estoy cansado, estoy agotado. Si yo digo agotado, es mucho más que cansado, ¿sí? Entonces, tired sería un adjetivo que hay, digamos, hay más, o se le puede añadir más grado al adjetivo. Pero, this one, exhausted, ese sería un ungradable adjective, porque exhausted es como lo top, lo más, ¿ok? No hay más de esto. Entonces, usualmente utilizo estos adverbios como absolutely con este tipo de adjetivos, que son los extreme adjectives. So, okay, that was just like a short or like a refresh on this. I am absolutely exhausted. I do need to get some sleep. Or what was the other one that you said? What was the other one? With really. I really need. I really need to get some sleep. Okay, very good. Let's go with number 5. I'm sorry, but the way Gina behaves annoys me.
Does annoys me?
Does annoy me, yes. So I'm really sorry. The way Gina behaves does annoy me. Does annoy me. And then, since I'm talking about the way Gina behaves and how it annoys me, so I'm using auxiliary does, and I don't need to add the S to the verb, okay? Here, when I say Gina behaves, the way Gina behaves annoys me, I am adding the S to the verb, okay? But when I use the auxiliary, since I'm using the auxiliary does, then I don't need to add the S. The way Gina behaves does annoy me. Number 6. I know you think I don't like your cooking, but I like it. How would you add emphasis to the sentence?
I do like it.
I do like it. Okay, so
I really like it.
Or I really like it. Yes. But with the I do like it, it sounds like it gives like more emphasis to it. So I know you think I don't like your cooking. You're cooking. But I do, or I really like, I do like it. With the do adds extra emphasis or more emphasis. I was relieved when the day was over.
Was I relieved?
Was I relieved? Yes. So here inversion, because we don't use auxiliary. Was I relieved when the day was over. Was I relieved when the day, oh, hold on, I didn't write it correctly. Oh, it's opposites. Relieved. Was I relieved when the day was over? Okay. Or what else? Adding an adverb.
I was really relieved.
No, really
No?
doesn't apply here. Definitely relieved, because relieved
It's an
is
ungradable.
yes.
Okay.
I was definitely relieved. Angelica, number 7. Oh, sorry, I was in number 8. It was number 7. Can you repeat the explanation of number 7? Yes, of course. I was definitely relieved when, hold on, let me finish writing. When the day was over. Okay. So the explanation here is, look at the sentence. Look at the verb. We have, I was relieved when the day was over. What is the verb of the sentence? What is the verb? No, the verb is was. I was relieved. So the verb is was. What kind of a verb is it? That's a verb to be, right?
Yes.
But in the past. That's verb to be, but in the past. So I cannot use, if I want to add emphasis, I cannot use an auxiliary verb. Why? Because verb to be doesn't work with auxiliary verbs. El verbo to be jamás lo vamos a encontrar con auxiliares, okay? So if I want to use emphasis here, I use an inversion, okay? Si quiero utilizar la inversión con verbo to, con un verbo o añadiendo un auxiliar, pues el verbo to be jamás va a tener un auxiliar, ¿cierto? Cuando está trabajando solito, entonces debo utilizar la inversión, ¿sí? Porque yo no puedo decir I do was or I did was. No, not possible, no es posible. ¿Por qué? Porque el do y el does y el did son auxiliares y el verbo to be enemigo de los auxiliares. So, not like it's not possible. Entonces ahí hago la inversión. Was I relieved? Okay. For example, mira la número 3, Angélica. Oración normal, tú dirías, I am glad to see you. But then I am adding, I am inverting the subject, and I said, was I, or am I glad to see you? Was I surprised when I heard the news? So, and in that way, I am adding emphasis to the sentence. And then you can do it like that, like inverting. So was I relieved? Or you can use an adverb. I was definitely relieved when the day was over. I'm using definitely here because I have relieved, and it's an adjective that is ungradable. Okay, so that's why. Is it clear now, Angelica?
Yes, teacher, thank you.
Okay, very good. So my people, my people. Is this topic clear so far? Is it clear so far?
Sure.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, it is. Okay. Tomorrow we'll do practice about it. So don't worry if
Need to
you're
practice,
like,
yeah.
yes, tomorrow we're gonna have practice about this topic. Okay. So far for today, our class is over. I know you're tired. I know you want to go and rest and have some rest. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much for being here tonight. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Good night. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye, have a great night.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye.